I do recall the plot.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Zombies to Zoinks, the show where we talk about everything from Twinkies to Scooby Snacks. I'm Daniel.
I'm Stefan.
And I'm Trask.
Okay, great. And we're all coming from remote locations.
Yes.
Let's get started. Today, we're going to start with the little thing that we're calling sorting session. So this idea spawned from, where did this spawn, guys?
Well, all three of us we were all working together, and I can't remember exactly how it all came about.
I'm pretty sure it was something between you and Daniel.
I believe I being the gigantic nerd that I am, I believe I started in our break space, spawned many nerdy conversations about nerd culture and things of that nature. And it led to one of the, and I didn't know, all three of us were working together.
Yeah.
I knew Stefan very well. I've known Stefan for years. I didn't know Trask too well yet. And I spawned many nerdy conversations about movies and Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Disney and stuff backstage back in our break room. And I believe I started a conversation in the room saying which Disney villains would fall into which Hogwarts house. And it got a lot of traction.
It got huge. Like, this became a thing where it was like a list being passed around that people could vote on, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I remember wanting to get so many other people's, input on it. Like, who they thought it would be.
Yeah,
so we just made this master list of like as many Disney villains as we could come up with, and just had people voting for.
I remember I did make a list of Disney villains with a tally, and I left it in the break room with a pencil for people to go. And I remember Trask. I didn't really know you too well then, but I remember you like turned and you're like, oh, here we go, and you like started listing off like every single one.
That's when I came in. That's when I came in. I
was like, oh, this dude's cool. Let's hang out. Let's talk more about this. And it spawned for like 2 or 3 days. So we're like, okay, so let's all get together at some point. And then of course this we are all in remote locations during our quarantine time with during Corona time. So we said, why not get together and talk more about this?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna start with a little thing that we're gonna call sorting session. Only today, I will be sort of facilitating. I have a list of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, Scooby-Doo Inc. Characters, ranging from all of the different eras and shows and everything. And we will be putting those up and discussing which Hogwarts house those characters would fall in. Now we're going to start with the main 5, and then we're going to get into some more obscure territory. So if I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the Scooby-Doo verse.
Yeah, you're gonna be testing my knowledge here because I've only got.
So if you need me to explain, like who Vincent Van Gogh is from Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts, I would be happy to do that. Or Flim Flam. That's pretty obscure. So
what are the rules stipulated here? Like, can I look up an image if I want to?
Oh, absolutely. There's no like you like obviously don't look up like what other people have said which Hogwarts house they'd be in.
But I think what Hogwarts house would Vincent Van Gogh be in? Let's see what I'm consort the forums here.
So before we get started on all that, I just wanted to kind of go through a quick list, some quick descriptions of each of the houses, so that things to keep in mind while we're doing this. So first for Gryffindor, like this list that I pulled up is just like 4 defining characteristics of each house. So
actually, first, why don't we each say which Hogwarts house we ourselves are in?
Okay.
Yeah. So I am a 100% Gryffindor, ENFJ, Aries boy. So it all fits together. So I'm Gryffindor.
I like to keep myself private. If that people can
get out of here, Ravenclaw.
And I'm not. I'm a Gryffindor, my boy.
What? I was like, what?
Yeah, no, that would be more of a.
Well, I guess that's a hat trick because I am also a Gryffindor.
Wow,
I knew you guys were cool.
Yeah, we're just a little. Hey, welcome to the common room. Gryffindor. You live
Here we
podcast from
go.
Hogwarts. Oh wow!
Fantastic, and that's why I knew we were the best.
That's why this ended up happening.
Yes. All right, Trask. Go back with your list of characteristics.
Okay, so the 4 defining characteristics of each house. So for Gryffindor, we have bravery, daring, chivalry, and courage.
All right, I think that all fits us. Yes.
Yeah. For Hufflepuff, we have loyalty, kindness, honesty, and friendship. Ravenclaw is intelligence, wisdom, creativity, and originality. And Slytherin is cunning, ambitious, determined, and leadership.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's
all very positive things. So
yes.
When talking about villains and bad guys and things like that, I think it's going to be a little more difficult to sort them. But
yes, and one of my things that I always keep in mind, because I have discussions like this on the regular, is that most bad people tend to fall in Slytherin, but not all Slytherins are bad people.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the way things. It's like most wicked people tend to have the traits of being cunning and shrewd and everything,
and ambitious.
Yes, but people who are ambitious, cunning, and shrewd that doesn't make them bad people. So that's my biggest.
And don't forget that every villain is the hero of their own story. Like they're not just wreaking havoc. They have means behind everything. Every time they take a mask off, somebody is like, "Yeah, I was doing this to blah 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 because this person was moving in on my property," and the such and such. Everybody has a reason behind
actually,
unless they're like Robbie Rotten and they know they're the bad guy, and that's just what they want to be.
Here's a little lesson in trickery.
Yes.
I was actually going to say a fun tidbit for the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Is I'm pretty sure every single villain, or almost every single villain, is after money. So they're not around like hurting people. They're just trying to scare people away to get money for their own personal gain. And they wanted to like make that a lesson for children.
Lesson on greed. Okay.
Yes, here we are. Yes.
I like
cool.
that.
All right.
Let's get started.
So we're gonna get in with the main 5 characters.
Okay, good.
With Velma Dinkley, because I feel like most people we're going to gravitate to the same one for this. So thoughts? What Hogwarts house is Velma Dinkley?
Ravenclaw, right? Is the obvious choice. Well, but
yellow. Yeah. So Velma is the one. Glasses. I can't find my glasses.
Do we have you at Trask?
Yeah, is Trask here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
you said lost in thought, the deep thought.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So Velma. So my obviously Ravenclaw is what I go to. And it's not just because she has glasses and not just because she's smart. But it's because of her knowledge and wisdom. In most situations, she's able to utilize those skills that she has. She's able to deduce things very quickly. She's always the first one to know who the villain is, and she's also the first one to always find clues that lead to who that person is, often things that are mostly overlooked.
Yeah.
And I think that type of intelligence and that type of focus to solving things, I think, is what would make her a Ravenclaw.
I got to agree. It's pretty cut and dry.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, she seems just very, I don't want to say pigeonholed into that, but it's like that's just her character. That's the way she's been built,
Yeah,
and I mean, a lot of the main gang are going to be strict stereotypes. Like I'm thinking about it in my head, I'm like, I think I know where they're all going to go real quick.
Well, that's true, but that's mainly for just Where Are You, Scooby-Doo, where they were very, very cut and dry characters. But when you start getting into the more recent things, especially Mr. Incorporated, which is on Netflix, and not sponsored, but I cannot say how great that show is. I'm like halfway through it now. It really fleshes the characters out. And I think, and even with fleshing the character out, I think that other than being like the smart one, she does still have those characteristics of being a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
So let's bring it on next to Daphne Blake.
Well, Trask, give me what you think. She was the toughest for me in my head. That's kind of why I just threw it off.
That's what I'm struggling with so much right now.
Because I'm like, maybe a Gryffindor. Well, you know what? If anyone in the party could be a Slytherin, it maybe could be Daphne.
Like you said, because it's not a bad intention thing. She's just.
Yeah.
I don't think she's as okay. So I'm gonna say I don't think she's as cunning. I think she's very smart and she's very resourceful. But one key thing with Slytherins is they often tend to, like, most of their gain, like their motivation behind it is mainly soul driven, like for themselves.
Yeah,
and I don't really see her doing that. I see, and I feel like that's one of the biggest differences between Gryffindor and Slytherin is that Gryffindors tend to do things as leadership or like teamwork, and Slytherins tend to do things for their own personal gain. Again, it sounds bad, it has bad connotation, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing necessarily. So I personally don't see her as a Slytherin, but that was one of the first ones that popped in my head.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just see her associated with wealth, and I think of, in her personal life, how ambitious is she, and how much does that matter to her, that she would continue to, like, climb with her social status, even though she's very much a part of a group.
Yeah.
You know, I've always wondered about that aspect. I mean, again, I've not watched Mystery Incorporated, so I don't know what kind of backstory they're trying to flesh out for her.
I personally think that she's a Gryffindor.
Okay.
I think that's my thing. I believe her bravery. I see her as almost like the in a way how Neville Longbottom, like, you know, doesn't always view himself as the courageous, brave sort of person until he realizes that it's within him. I think she knows that she is brave and strong. Because she certainly is, but she doesn't always, you know, it's not until her instincts tap into it that she's able to really show those true colors. So that's my personal thing, you know. And yeah, there's the trope that she gets captured a lot and blah blah blah, and she's like the damsel in distress. But I think that
we've gotten this all wrong. She's Hufflepuff then.
Yeah, that was. Those were the two that I was originally
and she also in Mr. Incorporated and Where Are You, Scooby-Doo, and some of those things. Not again, Where Are You, Scooby-Doo? It kind of hits a plateau very early on.
Sure.
But she definitely stands up to her family in support of her friends a lot in those. And same if we go to Spooky Island or like the live action, the 2002 Scooby-Doo, you know, where she was tired of, you know, always getting captured or, you know, whatever. So she goes in, she gets a black belt and she writes a book. In Zombie Island, she is the only one to go make her dreams kind of come true as an investigative journalist.
Oh, you got a good point.
It's up to her. She's the one who takes it upon herself to continue investigating mysteries, and I don't think that's someone with cowardice. I know, granted, she in that movie she's like bored that they always are a guy in a mask, but throughout that film, she absolutely shows courage and bravery because it's the first time the monsters are real. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my spiel. Sorry, I was just talking forever.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'm just staring at my Gryffindor tie, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give this one. I mean, I can't, because it's hard. I can't argue very strongly for anything else. Well, Slytherin's the only one that I would maybe come back to, but I think Gryffindor is an easier sell here. But Daphne's the wild card, right? Like that.
Yeah, I guess
let's go to an easy one, Daniel. Let's do an easy one.
Okay. Fred Jones.
What the? Okay, Gryffindor. Yeah, obviously.
No.
Okay, really?
Trask, what do you think?
As I'm just.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, he is the kind of go-getter. He's the one that always wants to. I don't want to say, save the day, but he's very driven in what he does. He's very protective of the rest of his group. He's, a little airheaded at times.
But is he?
I'm going to throw out.
Give this a counter.
Fred Jones is in fact a Ravenclaw.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting to hear some Hufflepuff crap, but
I know. Here we go. What do you guys make of that?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know much about. See, to me, a Ravenclaw is like one of two things. One, I feel like they're gonna be a little more socially isolated, so I'd see.
There is nowhere that says Ravenclaw in the Ravenclaw definition that they are introverts.
Yeah, that's
However,
fair.
it's that same thing with villains in Slytherin. Just because more introverts tend to be in Ravenclaw does not mean all Ravenclaws are introverts. Luna Lovegood.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. But
is in Ravenclaw.
Luna Lovegood had she was the wacky creative, like she's in the same category of Ravenclaw as Trelawney was, right?
Yes.
Like they're the social outcasts, even though they may be social butterflies because they're just have no filter.
Nothing in there says that they are social outcasts, though.
But it's just,
yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've already mine, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind.
That's a character point for Luna, not necessarily a defining characteristic of a Ravenclaw.
Yes. Fantastic.
So I went back and I was looking at that list of like some of the characteristics of Ravenclaw, and creativity and originality are things. All he wants to do is come up with these traps, and all he wants to do is set these snares, and he's constantly developing these new ideas for how to catch.
Yeah.
Not only is he educating himself on the locations and resources for his plans and things like that, but he's also actively taking in information and utilizing it for the betterment of what the task at hand is. So not only does he have wisdom, which is already containing previous knowledge, but he also has intelligence, which is utilizing that knowledge that he already has. And I feel like those are both very defining traits.
Wow, I dumbed him down. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about his whole obsession with Rube Goldberg type trap systems, and like when you think about the cunning and creativity of it, yeah.
So if we go, here's a just. I was really excited for Fred because I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw in something like crazy.
Yeah.
First one, intelligence. We already talked about. Wit, coming up with stuff on the spot. Wisdom, creativity, originality, individuality, sharpness, and acceptance.
Okay.
All of those to me sound like Fred Jones.
Yeah,
I can go with that. Yeah.
Daniel, I just want to be right. The Gryffindor in me wants me to be right.
It's all subjective,
Everyone's if you just twist it enough, everyone's really a Gryffindor when you think about it. The whole world. I'm probably gonna get a lot of crap for that, but that's okay.
Yeah. No. I will. Adolf Hitler is not a Gryffindor.
Okay.
I can say that with a sound mind.
Oh, sure. I like the idea of what's an evil Gryffindor look like, though. Every house.
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew is an evil Gryffindor. Okay. Do we know any evil Hufflepuffs off the top of our heads?
I believe Stan Shunpike is. I could be wrong. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Anyone who listens to this is like, what?
I don't think that's actually.
All the Harry Potter universe people are gonna start ragging on you.
Because I don't remember if Stan Shunpike was actually under the Imperius Curse. Britain. That's how
Quality podcast content right now, folks.
It's mostly going to be us Googling everybody. And you're just going to have to wait and hear it. Okay.
So this is someone saying he'd be a Hufflepuff or a Gryffindor. I don't think in anything in the source material says. So I can't use that as a fact.
Here's what we'll do. Hey, if you're listening, think of who's an evil Hufflepuff that you know about.
Please let us know.
Send it to us. And if you have to invent one, that's okay too. I'm just curious what they look like. You know, what are they?
It's not, and Stefan, it's not about being right. It's about the discussion.
Oh, right. Okay. Sure.
Okay. All right, let's get down to these last two because in my opinion, and I'm curious if you guys have different ones, these two fall in the same, and that is Shaggy Rogers and Scooby-Doo. I do believe both of them are Hufflepuffs.
Yeah, they were straight Hufflepuffs to me. That's the first ones that I, in my head, went, nah, these two boys are Hufflepuff.
Not only are they, and it's not because they're stoners, like the Hufflepuff.
I mean, that was that was my first thought though.
No, the thing to me is loyalty and friendship. That's when I think of Hufflepuff, that is the key thing. And I don't think you can find anyone more loyal than Scooby-Doo, and I don't think you can find a better friend than Shaggy Rogers, honestly. He's always there for his pals, and even so he is best friends with Velma, Daphne, and Fred. He's so different from the three of them. I've always thought that, but Shaggy is terrified of haunted houses and anything spooky and scary, yet he goes with them to solve mysteries because he is best friends with them.
Right.
He is there for his friend. That is why
why is he in this group? Why isn't he just ditched with Scoob yet? Why are they just on the beach?
He's there for his friends.
Yeah.
And I think that is the staple Hufflepuff. You can always depend and rely on a Hufflepuff, and they will always be there for you. And I absolutely believe that of both Shaggy and Scooby-Doo.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thoughts? Any Trask? What do you think?
No, I mean you pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
Fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. Because even in times when they Shaggy and Scooby may have their differences and be mad at each other, it doesn't last any more than the standard 22-minute episodes.
Yeah, there you go.
Always resolve their issues quickly.
Yes. All right. So now moving on, got another one. We're getting a little more adjacent, but still well known. Scrappy-Doo.
Ooh.
Slytherin.
Yeah. Not because he was the villain in the movie.
Spoilers from 2002 if you haven't seen that.
Sorry, guys. I mean,
18 years too late.
It's strictly his ambition for me.
I was 7 years old when that movie came out. It's ambitious and cunning.
He just wants that status so bad. He just wants to be one
even
of the
in the original Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo movies, like it was called movies, but it was I think that was the title. But the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, he is entirely on being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And putting himself forward. Like he wants to be the leader of the group, not for the betterment of the group.
Yeah. It's a personal gain thing.
It's all with Scrappy-Doo, and it is all about personal gain. And it's part of the reason why I think a lot of people didn't like Scrappy when he first came out, is that it kind of dumbed down the show. And also he doesn't have the charm of Scooby-Doo because he's not as loyal.
No, but he's the wisecracker though. He's the
charging battery.
Puppy power. Let me at him. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. I think we all agree there. So now I'm going to get to the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, which is my personal favorite. Vincent Van Ghoul, played by Vincent Price.
Okay. So I looked up an image of this boy.
Yes. Let me give you a brief premise of the show in just one sentence. So at some point, it's not really explained. It is just, I don't remember Scrappy's in that show, but it's Scooby. I know it's for a fact. It's Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne Daphne has a completely different hairstyle, and they join up with a young boy named Flim Flam in like a yellow running suit or like sweatsuit. And they also join up with Vincent Van Ghoul, or he's kind of like their mentor. And there's a chest that has 13 ghosts locked in it, and they somehow like open it, and all the 13 ghosts get out, and the point of the show is for them to go around and round up the 13 ghosts, hence the 13 ghosts of Scooby-Doo. So that's where Vincent Van Ghoul comes in. So he's kind of like your Vince if Dumbledore was played by Vincent Price. Think of that.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. I do see. I remember the character because of Vincent Price.
Yeah. It literally, he's just drawn like Vincent Price. Like it is Vincent Price. Like
Vincent Price is a vampire. Well, so I'm looking. Oh my gosh, yeah. Daphne doesn't look anything.
No.
Also, is Shaggy wearing red?
Shaggy is wearing red. I believe he gets that. He gets that in the Scooby Scrappy-Doo show, I think. Again, I could be wrong with that. I'd need to look it up.
This is also wrong. Oh, there's Scrappy. He's right there. Okay, yeah, this is he's wrong. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say.
I would say I'm gonna say Ravenclaw.
That's probably because he just feels like more of like a mastermindy kind of orchestrator of things.
Yeah, I would say Ravenclaw or Slytherin, but he helps. Yeah, he's not doing things for the betterment of himself. Granted, I have not watched the entirety of the series, nor have I watched this show since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, because I believe this came out in the early 80s. Let me look. But yes, so Vincent Van Ghoul. Let's see. It doesn't have a year.
I think I have the DVD set of it. Let me.
Really?
See if it's on the back of that.
No way. He's gonna run and grab the DVD.
Trask coming through
for the win. Let's just pull this. Actually, let's get a VHS here. Flim Flam. Why is Flim Flam a thing? I don't understand.
Why he's like he's trying to relate like to children, I think. And I guess there's a movie.
There is.
I have not seen it. Where it's like it's like a Scooby-Doo. It's like the 13th ghost. They only get 12 ghosts in the show, and then they made a movie like in 2014 or something where they capture it, and Flim Flam's like an adult.
Yeah, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, who is Flim Flam? Is Flim Flam the child? Is Flim Flam? And I'm like, it's both.
It is a very, 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 very strange.
I need to see all of it though now, because that would imply, with this movie, them being a lot older as the gang.
It would.
So I'm back. I do not have the 13 Ghosts one. I thought I did. I know I have heard about it recently, but I have the Scooby-Doo and the Skeletons, Scooby-Doo and the Haunted House, which both look like just standalone movies. And then I have the entire Scooby-Doo Where Are You complete series DVD collection in a case that is shaped and designed like the Mystery Machine.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
My gosh.
I am very impressed.
Great. I'm sure everyone's jealous they can't see it right now.
So we'll move on. So I was going. We'll keep this, especially with these kind of side characters, so we don't have to keep looking them up. We'll just keep them. We'll like look at a picture, get a brief description, and kind of say. So I actually say Vincent Van Ghoul is a Ravenclaw. I would or a Slitherclaw. I would say. I think he's a little cunning.
Right on the edge.
Yeah. Flim Flam. I definitely think is a Gryffindor. I think he's just a naive Gryffindor. He's a very like, yeah, I'm gonna go get him. He's like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. He looks like he's drawn in this way.
Naive Gryffindor.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another good one. I'm just going down the list here. Hex Girls.
Oh my gosh, I know these. I know them.
I'm the Hex Girls.
Yes, I loved them.
I believe they debuted in The Witch's Ghost. Yes. And then they have been brought back several times because they were fan favorites.
Lordy, I'm gonna put them all.
Well, it's tough to kind of categorize them all as one thing. Because each of them
they kind of are. they do all have their own personalities. I'm going to say, just based off of my knowledge, the blonde one is a Slytherin. The lead singer with like red hair is a Gryffindor, and then I think he's like the bass player, I can't remember if she plays bass or keyboard, but she's a Ravenclaw.
That's just their hair. It's just her hair doing that, you know.
Yeah.
That's just what we're going for. And then I always, you know what I always thought growing up when I looked at them? I always was like, they look like somebody made human versions of the female versions of the chipmunks, of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, honestly. Well, actually, hold on. Hold on. The Chipettes, aren't they? I thought the Chipettes in the original one were humans.
They might. I don't know. I feel like I've seen that before. Every time I see the Hex
No, they're
I
not.
get confused.
They just have brighter like fur. They have the chipmunk nose though. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I had that in my, but I did.
No, I did too. But I'm like.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up the very last one, and this is a loop. This is gonna be the farthest thing out there, and Trask, you might know. Red herring.
Oh boy! Wow.
If anyone is familiar with the 80s cartoon series A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, which is the prequel, Red Herring is Fred Jones's foil. He is like he's every time they like tried to solve a mystery, Fred is like, it has to be Red Herring, and he's just like the school bully that like it never turns out to be Red Herring. Like he's always there like still being like a jerk.
Well, literally being a red herring, like.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
What are kids? You don't know what that means.
Wait, why did I just hold on? Why did I just realize that was
Daniel?
red hair?
Daniel, go turn off your mic. Go hand it in. We'll keep the show going. You don't. It's okay.
8 years old when I found that out. Wow.
No.
Oh my god! I just realized. Yeah. Well, okay. Listen.
I'm glad I could give this to you.
Yeah. Thank you. When I watched that show a lot, and I was like, again, like in elementary school, and it was usually really early in the morning. And I absolutely had no idea what a red herring was when I was in elementary school.
Oh, so you build this kind of like, you know what it is, and you're like, you grew up with it, accustomed to like.
Yeah, I never put the two together. Well, same thing happened with Diagon Alley, and Nocturne Alley. That I was literally, it was like a year or two ago where I was like, oh, it's diagonally and nocturnally. I did not realize, because when I was a kid, I guess I just never thought of it as that. I thought Diagon, like in my head, I made up like Diagon was a person.
Oh.
And I thought it was named after, like, even though they're like, and that was just something I did as a child. So, but I was going to say, for me, a red herring is absolutely a Slytherin.
I mean, it feels like it. I remember the show. This is one of those shows that I never really watched per se, but it was like always on in the mornings before school.
Yeah, so exactly.
I was like, oh yeah, okay. I'll eat breakfast and watch this, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely watched it, but I don't like remember enough about it to do it. But it was brought up recently, and I instantly remembered watching it. But I just
and a pup named Scooby-Doo, boo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Yeah. Great. Well, fantastic. So I think that was a fun, rousing discussion, and now we're going to move on to our next segment, which I'm very excited for, which we're going to call Fact Check. So I have 5 Scooby-Doo facts here. One of them is not real. So I'm going to go through each one, and I just want to hear your thoughts and opinions on the facts, and maybe some discussion to find out maybe how valid is this. And to be fair, the facts that I'm using, it's not going to be like in episode 30 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Shaggy is eating a hot dog instead of a hamburger. Like, it's not going to be something like that. It's going to be like a very broad, very broad facts.
It's fine. I would have known that one though, but it's fine. It's
fine. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, of course, of course.
That's stuff we're good
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Give it.
All right. So the reason why Daphne and Fred went off all the time in the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? was because they wanted to focus more on the interesting characters. Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby.
I thought you were
so
about
the
to say
reason
something very different.
Yes, I know. So a lot of people think it's for different reasons, but the main reason was because the characters didn't want to write for them and they wanted to get straight to the more interesting characters.
Okay, I could see how that could be a reasonable
thing.
But it's also weird to me too that well maybe it's just that they understood that the marketing was around Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, this companion they built. Because if we really think about it, Shaggy is a companion to Scooby, right?
Well, originally the show this is adjacent, so this is an actual fact. The show was not Scooby-Doo was not the main character. The show was designed to be a really scary cartoon, almost like along the lines of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and Scooby was not going to be the like the central character. And after they pitched it, they said, "Oh, you need to make it more lighthearted and maybe focus on the dog."
Okay.
Yeah,
I could see that. They just kind of like gave up on developing the others, I suppose, in that regard.
Exactly. So that's what that fact is saying. All right, the next one.
Yeah, okay, go for it. Yeah.
It's okay. Scooby-Doo's real name is Scoobert-Doo.
I feel like that's right.
Yeah,
The new movie's
right
changing everything, but I think
the new movie is changing things because I don't really like it. It's like, what's his name? If that's your dog, what's his name? Scooby.
Han.
Middle name.
Solo.
Like, what cop is gonna go up to a kid and be like, "What's your dog's middle name?" If he's really your dog.
Well, they do in the Scooby-Doo universe. We don't know if Scooby's the only talking dog. Like,
I'm pretty sure. No, because like I remember his parents on the show, like Scooby-Doo's parents. I don't remember their name, but I specifically remember. I believe. Middle name wise, I believe it was Scoobert Melvin Dew or something like that. I'm fairly confident that's what.
Well, Norville is Shaggy's real name,
right? But
it's Norville Shaggy Rogers, yeah.
Right, but I'm saying like Scooby's middle name is Melvin. Yeah.
Comment below. Tell us what Scooby's real name is. Okay, next one. Scooby-Doo and Papa Smurf are played by the same voice actor.
The original Scooby-Doo.
I'm telling you, yes. Well, the original Scooby-Doo.
Is he still doing it? Or no,
he's not.
I know that he used to. I know that the guy used to do. I could be thinking of the wrong guy. He used to do Shaggy and Scooby.
Casey Kasem did not do Shaggy and Scooby.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry. Casey Kasem. He was actually like a very famous like disc jockey, and he played Shaggy. But yeah, I will say the voice actor of Scooby-Doo, which I'm blanking on his name right now, and I should not be. He did play Scooby-Doo for like, I want to say up until very recently, and then he got replaced because I forget, he was too old. No, actually this is a real thing. I just remembered it. The original voice actor I believe stopped smoking, and he was not able to do the Scooby-Doo voice as well.
Oh, that's terrible. Good life choices, but poor reflection and work. That sucks.
Yes. Fred Welker. And don't look. Wait, no,
Frank
Don Messick. What am I saying? Frank Welker is doing it now, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because
Messick.
The first thing that popped in my head is I'm just like, oh, Jim Cummings. He does everything, but it's not. Frank Welker makes sense.
Jim Cummings has done stuff. He's in
Jim Cummings does Fred, doesn't he? Or no? Or is it still Frank? No, Frank Welker does Fred too.
No, Fred, the original Fred voice actor has played Fred in every single Scooby-Doo thing.
Even today,
it is the same. The original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
I always thought it was. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Am I blowing your mind right now?
You are. Like, I felt like I understood what actors were doing what things these days.
Sorry, Frank Welker is the Fred voice actor.
I
Don Messick was.
Oh,
Don Messick was the Scooby-Doo voice actor.
Gotcha.
But Frank Welker has played it. So there's been 3. He's done every single one. Carl Steven played Fred in a pup named Scooby-Doo, and that is the only other one.
So the question here is, did Don Messick also play Papa Smurf?
And don't look it up.
Yeah, well, I'm still staring at red herring right now on my computer.
I feel like that's totally possible because, now even more than ever, you have so many voice actors that do so many things.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a thing.
Bradley Baker does how many different voices and how many different roles. I think it's totally within the realm of possibility that
I think it's a thing.
That same voice actor was on multiple shows that were on the same time. I think that's totally possible to be a thing.
And I believe they're both Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, but I can believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would take
cool. All right, so the next one. Mystery Incorporated, across all various source material, has caught over 750 different villains.
Oh, like the gang and
the gang across everything have caught over 750 villains.
That sounds like a lot. That sounds like you would reach a point where you would start recycling content.
It sounds a little too high. Like, I went through there's like an almanac, there's like a magazine,
the encyclopedia,
like the big book of the encyclopedia of like the big book of villains, and I remember there being like no more than 5 per page, and it was only like 60 pages of that. And if you look
to be fair, that book did not come out. It came out a little while ago.
Right.
Then we've had. I believe before that book came out, there were 2 newer incarnations of Scooby-Doo, not counting the Scoob and not counting this live action one. Just saying that.
Would a list like this include like a recreation of a villain, but like different backstory?
This is so I don't believe that they have ever redone a villain, like used like the same villain with a different backstory. So like the 10,000 watts 10,000 watts ghost in the original and the one in like the live action Scooby-Doo The Monsters Unleashed, those would be the same 10,000 watts volt. The 10,000
so they're not counted
watts
twice
ghost
because they're shown in different mediums.
Yeah.
Yes. However, there, to be fair, I'm just throwing this out as well. Scooby, I think there's so to go back, because we were talking about this earlier, is Scooby-Doo the longest running animated show?
Mm-hmm.
And it was.
Oh, okay.
It was for a long time. So Scooby-Doo came out, because we just had 50 years of it. Came out in 1969, and there are 14 television series, 1 web series, and 6 films.
Ah, gee, when you put it that way.
And 12 comics.
When you put it into
12 different comic runs.
I'm not even thinking about the comics.
Oh, I didn't even think about comics. Yeah.
There are so this is just going down the thing. There are 12 comic book print publications, 43 versions of film and television, 27 short films, 14 TV series, 1 web series, 14 animated that's included in the film TV one, 5 direct television specials, 8 television shorts, 6 television films not released in theater, and 33 direct to videos, 5 theatrical presentations, and 21 video games.
Wow. Okay. 750 seems a little low now. But you know what? Okay, I'll reverse my stats on it though, because if they're not redoing.
I wanted to present
crossover characters though. That's the thing. It's like if you have
true.
You mentioned the theatrical production of that. How many of those are going to have the 10,000 watt ghost? You could have one character crossing every single one of those mediums, and that's 12 to 15 different categories. You've got your video game, you've got your comic book. Those are 15 appearances from one character, bringing that number to 1.
That's true.
I just want to, part of me wants to believe that
Here,
it's 750. We'll come back to it, right?
Let's go to we will, and we'll come back to, and this is the last one.
Okay.
And this one I feel like is pretty well known. And I think I mentioned it before we start recording.
Casey Kasem, it's the truth.
Casey Kasem, the original voice of Shaggy, was a vegetarian, strict vegetarian, and left the show when Shaggy was going to appear in a Burger King commercial.
See, here's what's weird to me about this whole thing, because Shaggy is just known for consuming large quantities of food, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it strictly like, does anyone remember Shaggy specifically consuming meat-based products in the original, or like
in the live action one, they gave him the eggplant burger as a nod to Casey as a vegetarian.
Right.
So I think I should say so I guess I should rephrase it, because we have already established Casey Kasem is a vegetarian and a very strict vegetarian. So did Casey Kasem leave the show like after doing Shaggy for so long because Shaggy was contracted to be in a Burger King commercial? Was that the reason? I
think that could be very well the case. I think he did. I'm just trying to figure out. That's why I guess I should have expressed that. In my mind, I was like, yeah, he did. And then I'm like, and here's why I think I don't understand, because in my mind, Shaggy was always consuming meat, And so was it just the commercialism of it that did it? Or am I missing something? And in the original cartoon, do we never see him like pull a chicken leg out and just down it, Or like I just remember him consuming whole turkeys, like just breaking the laws of physics and possibility.
So why would he stay on the show if he could eat meat in
the show, but
the TV series versus a commercial?
I'm like, maybe it's it's because it's supporting a real burger chain that he didn't stand behind, that he didn't want to be associated with.
So I will say that the fact that I'm stating is. It is not because of anything commercialism.
No,
it was Shaggy, his voice, the voice he was playing. He stopped playing that character because he was going to be shown eating a hamburger in a Burger King commercial. Not for commercialism or anything like that. It's because the character was going to be shown eating meat.
I don't. I think
the character's already eating meat. As far as I'm
concerned, he was already a meat eater in the show.
Okay.
So I don't feel like he would have left over that reason. I feel like maybe he voiced opinions about it, but
I'm going to go through each fact now, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have you each say, without like discussing anymore, I just true or false, and then I will tell you.
All right. Gotcha.
Okay, ready? All right. Yeah. So the reason Daphne and Fred went off on their own so much was so the show writers could focus more on just the interesting characters.
True.
Trask?
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to say true.
True from both.
Yeah.
That is, in fact, true.
Okay.
It, of course, spurred off many other various theories about why they might be going off, and they kind of allude to that actually in the Johnny Bravo Scooby-Doo episode, because they're like, oh yeah, so Daphne and Velma and Scooby will go off, and then Fred's like, Daphne, yeah. So, but that was just a joke of that. Okay, Scooby-Doo's real name is Scoober-Doo. True or false?
That's true.
True. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Okay.
Scooby-Doo and Papa Smurf are played by the same voice actor.
I think we decided true, right?
You know what? I'm gonna stick with true.
Yeah.
True. Okay. That is in fact true. We're doing
we're
3 for 3
great.
so far.
We're doing great.
Across all source material, Mystery Incorporated has caught over 750 villains.
Oh, this is the one that's gonna drive me nuts.
I kept the two hardest ones for the last, just for this reason.
I have to say true, because I just feel like if they're not repeating, I think it's possible.
All right, so we have a true.
I'm gonna be the bold one. I'm going false on this one.
Okay, cool. Before I tell you yes or no, I'm gonna read the last one and hear those.
We've had so many trues. I'm worried now, but I'll stick with mine. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and this is your final answer. So
yeah, it's true. Is locked in.
Yeah. Okay, and then Casey Kasem, the original voice of Shaggy, left the show after all those years. I believe it was in the 90s when Shaggy was going to be appearing in a Burger King commercial to like eating a hamburger.
It's gotta be false. Don't think
I'm gonna go with true on this one. So
yeah.
So
Okay.
Trask is taking.
All right.
The false one.
And I will say the winner if we're going to choose one. Trask, you got all of them right.
Oh my god.
And Stefani didn't. So
I lost those last two, didn't I?
Yeah.
Mystery, just the last two. Mystery Incorporated has caught 392 villains across all material.
That sounds a little more reasonable.
Yeah. So I was at first I was gonna say like 400 villains. So like, but I was like, no, that's cheap. I was like, I'm gonna double it if I can. So 750. I thought was a large enough gap to be yes. And then Casey Kasem did in fact leave the show. The reason, so Shaggy had been portrayed eating meat at certain times. I believe I'm trying to remember exactly. This is just off the top of my head. There was like a few instances where he did eat meat, but that was it was like on accident. It was like the screenwriters in like the first season, there was like once or twice where they accidentally put in like a joke about meat that he was eating like a sandwich or something. Yeah, I don't know the specifics, but Casey Kasem was like a strict vegetarian and he did not want Shaggy eating meat. It happened a couple of times reasonably, and then when Shaggy was going to be like shown like at Burger King, he was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm sorry. However, he did then come back after renegotiating things for Scooby-Doo. What's New Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Where Shaggy is shown as a strict vegetarian in the entirety of that. And then he is shown. And then once Matthew Lillard, who is the live action Shaggy in the 2002 movie and the 2004 sequel movie, he took over the voice of Shaggy from then on out, and from then on Shaggy was shown as not being a vegetarian. However, Casey Kasem came back and played Shaggy's dad for Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Wow,
there you go.
My boy's in a vegetarian. Okay, well, but like one parallel universe version of him though.
Yes.
So again,
I try to keep the two kind of tricky for the last two.
I almost like that better for him, though, to be honest with you. Like
to be a vegetarian?
Yeah, I think that's just to straight up make that a character choice and across all mediums, because I don't know. It's like the first thing you think of. It kind of like breaks your mind palace a bit when you're like someone so obsessed with consuming all forms of food, but specifically vegetarian. You know, that's kind of cool to me, but.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But good job, Trask. Trask wins it for today. He gets
what's he get?
You get a Scooby snack.
He doesn't seem very happy about this.
We'll have to figure out like a point system or something, and tally it up.
We'll tally it. Yes. Well, you get one fact check tally.
Oh my gosh! What if we did like that'd be kind of fun actually if we
a tally system. Let's do it.
Or if we were able to win something in the form of like something we get to do for the podcast. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Awesome. We'll have it. Whoever wins gets to host it next time.
I could do that. Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Because whoever is hosting it, which I am doing currently, I'm not playing, so I wouldn't get to do it next time. So it always kind of keeps it flowing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good idea.
So maybe we'll discuss that off the air. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna do here in the last like 5 minutes or so, we're going to do a little segment called Trailer Chat, where we're gonna talk about like movies or anything. So what are your thoughts on the new Scoob movie coming up in theaters soon? I believe they might have pushed it back because of the Corona thing, but what do you think? Because it seems like it's taking a very, very different turn than what we're used to for Scooby-Doo, other than Scooby-Doo Be Cool or whatever that one is with the weird art style.
I'll say this. I actually sub chat real quick. I want to watch Scooby-Doo Be Cool for that exact reason. I have not seen it yet. I just hear it's.
I've seen one episode.
Well, that's the one with the. That is the one with the weird Scooby, though, isn't it? Where he's like he makes more complete sentences and is like a lot more cynical, and
the whole show is it looks like Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the style. Like, and the jokes are not as crude. Like, it's still a kids show.
Like Rick and Morty, or a bit like Family Guy too, is kind of how the style reminded me.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
thought,
well, like
I saw Fred, and I'm like, oh, is this a Family Guy segment? And I was like, oh,
yeah. And the I like the sort of thing where in this the episode I watched, you know, Daphne is like sea animals like don't like her or something, and like it was like one of those things where like like 4 dolphins like come out of the water and like motion at her, which is like not believable at all. Where in some of the other one, there's like your suspension of disbelief is a little bit like you don't have animals other than Scooby really kind of talking, like, you know, like a bird isn't gonna have a cell phone or something, but in this, like, I could see something like that happening. Yeah.
Well, it's very form breaking, I feel like, though. It's like it's trying to be well, the reason why I want to bring it up though is because I feel like that Scooby-Doo, I feel like he is this Scoob, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like,
and I
Scoob's
think it's the same voice actor as what it's been for a little while. I know this is a new Shaggy, and I think it's not Matthew Lillard.
No.
Yeah. So, and my personal thing was I love the style. I think it looks good, like that kind of like mix between 2D, and I like that they actually look like their ages. Where Shaggy's supposed to be 17, Fred and Daphne are supposed to be 16, and Velma's 15, I think. And like Fred, I was like, wow, that looks like a 16-year-old, and like that's believable. So I kind of like the style they're going for. I just didn't like the writing or the jokes as much in the commercial for Scoob. Like the when they're like Shag's like, hey, let's say this thing on the count of 3, and then Scooby says like IKEA, and he's like, wait, what did you say? He's like, no, I said the thing you said. Like, I didn't think that was funny. Like I
did laugh the first time. I'll will admit that I did.
It's just a different type of humor.
It is.
Know?
Well, I'm gonna throw another thing out, but I want Trask to what do you got to voice on the before we jump into the next bit?
So I haven't actually seen the full trailer. I've seen the animation style, which I really like. I think it's a fun animation style. So right out of the gate, visually, I'm intrigued by it. I will definitely take some time to look at the trailer here pretty soon. But in this current moment, I can't really comment too much on it because I'm not super up to date on it.
Gotcha. That's totally fair.
Yeah, when I first saw the trailer, or like second, maybe third time, I forgot what movie we were seeing, but my brother leans over to me, and he goes, "That's not Scooby," and I'm like laughing at half the trailer, and I'm like, "Oh well, I mean, you know, there's been a lot of weird things out lately." I mentioned Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and I'm like, he never even heard of it, and I'm like, it's such a form breaker. So to see a movie like Scoob, to me, it feels like what I appreciate they're doing with it is it looks like they're trying to unify everything. Like it's almost like they're taking every universe created so far, and they're trying to unify it under one concept.
See,
that could be a new series of films going forward.
I believe that this new series is supposed to be like a cinematic universe. Like it's going, or like I think that they're going to try and do that, or like make sequels that like they're all connected. I thought Mystery Incorporated. Granted, it was like 2014 when that came out. I thought that was the proper evolution of what the show needed to be, because Scooby-Doo it pretty much is like Scooby-Doo, where are you, straight into Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Like you could skip everything else because the style's very similar. The progress, and then the only thing really is that the character's a little more fleshed out. But I think it brings everyone into the 21st century very well, and I thought you know that was the best way to do it when I was watching it, and it makes jokes at what the old one was going to be. Like there's one episode where they literally they're like, oh, we're going to the teenage mystery solving finals, and everyone there are like the other Hanna-Barbera like teenage thing. Basically everything Hanna-Barbera like copied from themselves, like Jabberjaw and Speed Buggy and the Funky Phantom, like they're all there together, and they like have an episode where they're all together, which is the same thing where they're like, oh, let's have a crazy animated character with a bunch of teenagers solving mysteries. It seems to work with Scooby-Doo. Let's just make it over and over and over and over and over again.
Right. Right.
So, but I felt like Mystery Incorporated was a proper progression. And then I think it took a step back with Scooby-Doo Be Cool.
It's almost like the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go scenario. Like,
great, yes.
I want to get into that.
I know.
That will be next week.
Yeah, well, I would love to do a podcast.
Titans fan, and if I'm leading next week, that very well may be the next topic.
Okay. I love it.
You could take it. You could take it, Trask. I got a lot of opinions about that too. But okay. So to finish out here for me with this trailer, to me it gives me. You're right. It's a different comedy style. It's not for everybody. It gives me heavy Hotel Transylvania vibes, even though it's not. As far as I know. Even though as far as I know, it's not the same animation company, because I think it's like Genndy Tartakovsky has. I don't know if he works with somebody or if that is his 3D animation company now.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like, yeah. What if the guy who made Samurai Jack and Dexter's Laboratory and all these shows like made a movie and it turns out to be Hotel Transylvania? That style of comedy, I feel like, is a huge inspiration for Scoob. They've got that kind of plucky, almost, I don't know, there's got to be another word for it, because it's so unique. Or it's like also a little bit like maybe with a little more form and structure, but like if you remember Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah.
So I think it'll be good, but I don't think it's gonna explode like they want it to necessarily. Like the Charlie Brown movie came and went, you know?
Oh God, yeah. When I saw that, I was not happy with that Charlie Brown. Again, it's progression is I think the proper thing, and it's rather than like, oh, what we think is going to sell, like, and which is the problem with Teen Titans Go, I think, is they said like, oh, we want to keep this show going, but we want to make it what are our kids going to want to see right now, which is that very loud, crazy Fortnite humor, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so which is fine, but I think it should be done with original cartoons. I think a great example is like Flapjack. Misadventures of Flapjack. Do you remember that?
Oh, he was such ahead of his time. It spawned so much.
Or like Chowder, I didn't really watch Chowder, but I definitely watched Flapjack a little bit.
Loved
like
Chowder.
that, or Adventure Time. I think those are great progressions where it has that loud, silly cartoon humor that's popular with younger kids today, and just from what I've seen.
Well, yeah, but it's also different. But I think there's more tact to those shows in some regards, because you're not going to see flossing or twerking or
I don't know. You have in Adventure Time, you have stuff like that.
You do. But to me, Adventure Time always created its own codified language of comedy, like
exactly, and that's what
it invented its own things.
That's what they need to do. And so, and I think rather than trying to take previous incarnations of things which have already set up, established the world that it's in, and then trying to apply these newer forms to it, I don't think it feels very natural. And that's my, that's kind of what I feel with Scoob and everything. Yeah, well, I think that's a great chat for today, trailer chat. So next time, let's talk about Teen Titans. I think that would be fantastic, and then we'll have Trask lead it.
Yeah, we kind of organically found our second week of content.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to whoever is listening to this or tune in. We'll be doing this again, just because we like talking about nerdy stuff together. So please, tune in next time, and thank you very much.
Bye.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Stefan.
And I'm Trask.
All right. And that's a wrap.
That's good job.